Here we go!
We're feeling very gay because it's almost time to play. Grab your favorite chair with the lucky Pierres. Yeah!
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Lucky Pierres movie review. Tonight we got a brand spanking new horror movie review for you. It's called Skinamarink. All right, Skinamarink, guys. We just seen this. It actually literally just released today in theaters, and we went to see it. What did you guys think of it?
I respect what they were going for, and people said it was like got a lot of buzz online from like TikTok and stuff, and people said it was the scariest new movie they've ever seen.
Which I feel like is a generational thing. I feel like younger people, they'll like
Hit
it
home
a lot
with them,
more.
yeah.
I don't know. You think younger people, maybe like 4 years
Yeah.
old, but like
No, like the TikTok generation. I don't know why. They love it. They need it. And everybody, like, whenever somebody
just-
mentions creepypasta, like with a movie,
That's what it
people
felt
younger
like.
than me love it.
That's what it felt like, is a creepypasta thing
Yeah,
come to
but
life.
I don't
It
get
felt
it.
like it should have been...
Because I'm just old enough to where, like, I just missed that. Like, the creepypasta stuff,
Yeah.
I just missed. Like, you probably caught the end of it,
Maybe, a little bit.
but I didn't at all.
Maybe the end, maybe the very end of it, but or the beginning of it. I don't know. But I thought it was like it could have been an audio thing, almost. It was barely
with no visuals?
barely a visual thing.
I do like that about it. I like when
the
the
audio
audio,
was-
is prominent.
yeah, it was.
The audio was the sound design was very creepy.
But the visual was like the darkness. Like that's what was supposed to scare you. It was like just not knowing what was there.
Your
and always-
imagination.
yes, anticipating something.
Your imagination.
Which also, I feel like if you watch it at home and mess with your settings, you can probably
increase the
get more
brightness
out of it.
Yeah. But
But-
the thing is, we seen it as a group in a theater. I think it'd be much
More-
you get a better experience
more
if you-
effective.
if you see it alone. If you watch it alone in a different environment than a theater, watch it alone, and you have to really not break your concentration. You have
Yes.
to no distractions. You
Yeah,
have to
it's-
really get into
It's
it.
kind of like an experimental horror movie. You're like supposed to be immersed, and you're supposed to think like as the kids think, and not know what's going on, and it's kind of like a nightmare come to life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Like
I get that. I get that about it.
I don't really know like how to rate it, but I do appreciate its existence.
yeah,
Yeah, same.
And
I
I do. It's genius that they made this and got paid out over it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's like Blair Witch kind of, but I don't think it will be as successful as Blair Witch because Blair Witch was like a once in a lifetime kind of deal, you know?
but all this needs to make is like $100,000, and it's super successful.
Oh yeah, it will.
Like,
it will probably
Blair,
make that.
Blair Witch's budget was like almost $1 million. This was made for 15,000 Canadian.
That's crazy, man.
and like crowdfunded too. So
Yeah, so they didn't even have to pay anything.
Let me just explain the plot real quick. It's very minimal. Two children wake up in the middle of the night to find their father is missing, and all the windows and doors in their home have vanished.
Yeah.
That's basically it. We don't see it. You
you don't see much of anything.
You don't see much of anything.
And
you hear mostly everything.
It's very low budget camera, so it's all grainy.
I like that style though.
I like it.
I
Yeah.
like-
The style
like-
was cool.
It had to be
Also,
like that.
At points in the movie, I was too focused on the blurriness, and I was like, "What?"
Am I seeing something?
No, I was like, the blurriness is. I was like, "There's just millions of little worms on the screen."
I thought that too.
and I was like, "This is going."
Did
this
you
is
see
bizarre.
it, Joe?
Yeah, it was very static.
I was like, "This is getting bizarre."
I was like, is there a tentacle monster right
"Yeah."
there?
I was like, "This is getting bizarre."
Yeah, but it was very, very unique in style, and that's where I gave it any
If
credit. Any credit that I gave
If I
it
could
is
put
in
a
the style.
shock collar on everybody in the theater so that they can't make a sound, I would enjoy it so much more.
Yeah, because we had a couple
There
people
were
laughing,
like
which
two
was
girls
stupid.
behind us that like would laugh randomly, like not throughout the whole movie, just like maybe a handful or more times in the whole runtime they laughed, but just every time they did, it immediately took me out of it, and I was furious.
I hate that. Like you said, Joe. Like we were talking about, it's insecurity. When people do that in theaters,
yeah, I'm not scared.
with something super scary. Let me just laugh to make people think I'm not scared. Kind of like take themselves out of it.
Yeah.
it's a puss move, if you ask me. But we were touched on the sound design, like very unsettling.
Yes.
Very unsettling sound design.
the sound was good.
Very muffled voices, and
Yeah.
very jumpy parts when it went high.
Which also, like, I feel
and
like
volume.
because it did not show much, but I feel like it was effective in doing that.
Yeah.
Which I know a lot of people will think like, oh, there was nothing happening. It took way too long. But I feel like that was kind of the point. Like, it's kind of supposed to be like a struggle almost.
Yeah, it's not going to be at all for everybody. Like,
it's supposed to be disorienting.
You're not going to want to put it on for like a party night at all. You have to you have to really be committed to like watching
it
this
alone.
movie
I
and
don't
a
know
horror
what
movie and
f-
being
yeah, I
into the
don't-
horror mood.
I don't know what frame
alone.
of mind you have to be
Yeah.
in, but you have
With
to
no
be
distractions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. But
in it.
like,
Maybe be on hallucinogens.
There was a couple unsettling parts, but it just like it could have been.
could have been great.
I would say like 45 minutes shorter, at least, honestly, and it could have had the same effect or more.
I'd agree with you.
Because there
Yes.
was so many shots of like just ceiling
And trim
they
and
just went
window.
on so long, and you're waiting for something to happen, and nothing happens.
Yeah, it's just a lot too many stagnant shots.
Right.
Just like
it's-
something's got to happen.
I fully appreciate what he was going for, but it was too much boringness.
because I feel like it was like a. Imagine if you were in this situation, like this emptiness would be terrifying.
100%.
But that doesn't translate through a screen.
No, the best way you can describe it is what Joe said, like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Nightmare is very little. They seldom make sense, or you know what I mean.
Which
Like,
is a creepy thought that you're watching a nightmare happen.
Yeah.
And a lot of those things, if you've had nightmares, you would have
You
seen
see
these
those
things.
And it was
Like,
supposed to be like
a few very unsettling things where the face at
Like-
the end was very unsettling.
how you would feel or how scared you'd be if you were that young of a kid and you just woke up and your parents were gone.
Which is terrifying. Yeah, they put you in that vulnerable position. That's
But-
what a lot of horror
there's
movies
One
do.
thing I didn't like. Subtitles sometimes, not
Right.
all the time.
Agreed.
One way or the other.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
sometimes you could hear what they were saying, and then it had
Sometimes you couldn't,
subtitles.
yeah.
And then you couldn't hear what they were saying, and there were no subtitles.
I didn't like that. Yeah, I thought I missed a few
sometimes
things.
when there wasn't subtitles, you could make out what they're saying.
Yes.
Sometimes you couldn't. There
Yeah.
was no
Yeah.
way. Like
100%.
It was just a sound.
Maybe it wasn't audible. Maybe they wasn't like words. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
But I was gonna say, one thing that bothered me though is that this movie, the writer, director, or whoever, they expect too much from the viewer. Like,
They do expect a lot.
yeah, they expect a
But
lot.
I feel like that is like a generational thing.
that's
like,
the style. But I get it.
Somewhat appreciate that. We're like,
Come on.
they're not
Come down
gonna
here.
Hold your hand.
walk you through it.
Yeah.
Like so many movies do. Most movies.
Yeah, but I get that. I understand it. But like, it's just too much. It was
Yeah.
he expected.
Yeah.
They expected too much.
To a point, you have to have some plot.
Show
and some-
something.
yeah.
Show
something.
something. You
Right.
cannot do. I mean, it was almost like I said. It was almost an all audible experience.
maybe we should have seen it in the epic one. I wish that was an option.
Right.
Yeah, I'm torn because I'm halfway in, halfway
Yeah,
out on it. Like
exactly.
I was into it, but also it was just too long and boring. There were like nothing happened. Too much empty space.
Yeah.
We're like, I see what they're going for, and it could be creepy, but it's just not enough for me.
Maybe we need to rewatch this in the future all alone, and see how come back to it,
and see
revisit it.
if any of us like it more or less.
But I was gonna ask, what do you guys
But
think?
yeah, I mean, it will be on Shudder soon. So
Yeah, I'll watch it again. I think. Is it a demonic possession or aliens or something paranormal? What is it? What do you think? I mean,
I would
don't think they get more specific in like anything you find about
Just-
it than an entity.
whatever's in your nightmare. I guess it's in your imagination. Like you can think what you want. That's what makes it creepy. Because it's just like
Yeah.
the dark is supposed to be the scary thing in it. Like because you don't know what's there.
but what about like how would you take the woman, the mom sitting on the bed and stuff? She was acting kind of possessed, was she not?
I don't think she was there.
Yeah, I don't think
Like
so
I think
either.
it was all just mind games. Like
Oh, in their head.
yeah,
And you guys did mention, I missed this part, but something about 500 and some days.
yeah. Like in the
I
part
actually
of the
dozed
movie where
out
all the
once
toys were
for-
like upside down on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like at one point, at just in the middle of those, text came on the screen and it just said 572 days, and that was it. No explanation.
That's how long
And
they've been in there.
I guess like it's supposed to say like, but that is absurd to me.
Yeah.
Like a year and a half they were just chilling in this haunted house and nobody was like, hey, where are those kids?
It could be one of those
where are those dang kids? Like a
unreliable
wormhole?
narrator type things.
Yes.
'Cause
Yeah.
I
You're
do-
seeing from
yeah.
the lens of the kids.
Right.
Maybe
True.
he thinks his mom is there. Maybe he thinks it's been forever, and maybe they don't know what's going on. So they're
Right.
just terrified and
Good point.
they don't know how to handle it because they're 4 years old.
Also,
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's an unreliable narrator.
impressive stream for a child.
yeah.
When the noise of him peeing in that bucket,
Yeah.
impressive stream for a child.
Right.
Because it sounded like a goddamn garden hose.
I think it will resonate with some people a lot more than others. Like
Also, yeah.
Some people will be
and
terrified from it, others
People
gonna be
that
like,
grew
this is-
up afraid of the dark, 100%, I think, will be more terrified of it.
I think a big part of it is how you take it in.
A huge part.
How you experience
Yes.
it is a huge part
If
of
we
it.
watched on like a laptop with these headphones on, it might be.
Well, I was gonna say,
different.
like,
Yeah.
if you had headphones on in the theater, maybe, so like
Yeah.
you couldn't hear anything but the movie. It
Oh,
would
that'd be way better.
Yeah.
Like, man, like you're right. This movie is. There's not many movies that how you experience it matters that much.
Yes.
And this is one of them.
If you could hear like the demon voice through your headphones, it might be like, this is rough. Like,
This is terrifying.
Or like
Man.
like if you hear things better in the headphones, like,
right.
I really wish you guys would have seen it like together, and I wouldn't have gone. And then you said you should watch it alone. You told me after
like
the fact.
like
you know
at
what I
least
mean?
one of us would have just.
Man,
We'll
I
do
wish
that for you next time. Don't do it for us.
right. No, but anyway, you guys want to get to ratings or anything else you guys want to add on it?
No.
I mean, it wasn't the scariest for me, or even up there in the scariest movies I've ever seen. But also, it's gonna be for a lot of people. It's gonna terrify them because
It's like a nightmare.
that type of movie.
Yeah.
It's you cannot deny
Like
it's
it's-
super original.
It's,
I give them that. Yep, props.
Like it's one of the weird examples where I can see both extremes. Like the people that are like, "Oh, this is terrifying," I can get that. And then
Yep.
when people are like, it was an hour and a half of me staring at a wall, like, yeah, I can see that too. Like,
Right.
Either way, if people love it or hate it, you can go, "Oh, I
I
get
can
that."
too. Yeah, I can
It
too.
takes like at least 40 minutes for anything to happen.
Right.
At least, and you could be checked out by
Well,
then. You'd
yeah,
be
by-
like, this is
by
just
then-
like.
I think the first thing
It takes you that long to realize, like, oh, they're never gonna show the kids more than just like
the feet.
their feet.
Yeah.
Top of the head and stuff
Yeah.
like yeah.
I thought a creepy shot, which was just an odd shot, was the back of her head. Do you remember that shot?
Yeah.
That was a creepy shot for
And
whatever
then,
reason.
like,
I don't
yeah,
know
and then
why.
it gets like dark, and then like you're kind of like, is she gone? Oh no, wait, I still see her.
Yeah.
like, you're like,
Yeah, so it's effective in that way that you're always waiting for something to happen, anticipation. You're
and
like-
then it rarely ever
like
does.
when he says look under the bed, you're like, oh god, what's gonna
Something's
happen?
coming.
Yeah,
And then it doesn't
yeah,
happen.
for
Yeah.
sure. Thought like
the second
second time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I was like, it's
But
coming
then,
right now.
But then all it was she went up, he was gone, and the mom was there.
Yep.
Which is still that
the
is
first
creepy.
thing that happened that made me actually jump was the face with no eyes and the mouth. Remember that? That was
Yes.
about halfway through, I'd say, somewhere in there. But either
yeah.
way,
The whole
and then, like,
the toy thing kind of was a bummer for me. I don't know why they did that. Like the toy had like a smiley face. I was like, that's kind of dumb. That doesn't really fit in this movie. Like
what was it exactly?
Like
I
a
forget.
toy
It was like a
phone.
Toy
train.
train?
Oh, a train or phone. Yeah.
whatever it was, yeah. It just got like a different face, and you're like, why would you make a jump scare out of that? That's like forced. It seemed like.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Interesting. It was an interesting movie, at the least.
Yeah.
But let's get to ratings. What I gave it a 4.
I gave it a 5.5 just because like originality and like I could see what they're going for, and I appreciate what he's going for.
Let me add on that. I can see what they're going for too, but it was just asking
Yeah,
too
you-
much.
you
of
think it
me.
was a big ask.
It was a
Yeah,
big
it
ask,
was.
and it was just like, I get it, but like it just didn't do it for me. You have to tell me a story. It just can't be just
Imagine
that.
if it wasn't like.
It can't be just that.
Imagine recommending this to like our mom or Russ or something, and be like, watch this movie. It's sweet, and then be like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
because it's just not a lot of people's type of movie.
You can't recommend it.
Nope.
It has to be discovered.
I'd say, yeah, I give it like a 5.5 because like I don't know to go negative or positive,
Yeah, I'm
but I
torn.
do appreciate it a lot.
I appreciate
Like,
it,
I
but
like
just
it.
not enough.
I like the
Appreciate.
effort, and I do think it was like cool stylistically and like
It was cool stylistically.
effective, and like they did cool things, especially for only like 11,000 American dollars.
I like that this movie exists. I like that movies like
I
this
do
exist,
too.
and they're
And
still
I do-
making
experimental,
and-
yeah.
Yeah.
I do hope it does well, because
It
if
is
it
super
does,
original.
there will be so much fucking weird stuff that gets made low budget that people will give a chance that they wouldn't otherwise.
That
True.
could be a bad
Like the
thing.
fact that this,
Then they're gonna force more garbage
No,
out.
yeah.
And be like, people are
but
gonna watch it.
Well, yeah, but the fact that this got a theater release, I feel like will push some people that didn't have the balls to make like a $20,000 movie are gonna be like, "Fuck, this movie did it! Like I'm gonna do it."
I hear what you're saying, but that could be like a double-edged sword. Where
Oh,
people are
it
gonna be
is,
like,
but
we just
more-
make something really crappy and force it out, and people
Yeah.
are gonna see it, and we'll get some buzz.
So much content is good for me. I watch a lot.
I'm torn of this movie. Like I was waiting for it to be over, kind of like counting down the minutes, and then yet, like a couple hours after I've seen it, I'm like, I kind of want to revisit it. I want to, you know what I mean? Like,
That's
Yeah,
good
which
for a movie to
It's
have.
interesting. It's
Yeah.
it's an interesting watch.
Which honestly, I feel
like I'm
is.
thinking about it still. Like
If you watch it again, you could have a completely different opinion.
100%, I'm gonna watch
And then
it.
if you watch it again after that, you could still go, you know what? I still don't really know if I like it or not.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
done that with very few movies. One that comes to mind is Alien Covenant, but that's a different story entirely. But anyway,
For different reasons.
Yeah, different reasons.
you think? Let's get to final verdict. Would you guys say watch it ASAP, watch it whenever, or skip it?
I'd say if you have any interest in it at all, see it ASAP before it gets talked to death about.
It's tough to say skip it or watch it ASAP. So like, I guess like if you're really into movies and you're really committed to like
If you're just curious, just wait
watching
till it's on
something
Shudder.
wild and different, then watch it. But otherwise, skip it.
So you'd say watch whenever.
yeah, I guess.
I would say watch whenever as well.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's just it's
Hard
just
to recommend.
It's
gonna be
not for everyone.
There's going to be so many people
It might
who are gonna
not be
like,
for anyone.
This is trash because there was so much not happening.
I think a lot of people are going to say that, and then you're right. A lot of people are going to say that was scary as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a watch it whenever for us. All right, guys, we got the movie quote game. I got a movie quote. They got to guess it. Here it is. It's a woman. Listen, you promised me something, okay? Just if you're ever in trouble, don't be brave. You just run, okay? Just run away.
Forrest Gump.
Boom, there it is.
Listen, you promised me something, okay? Just if you're ever in trouble, don't try to be brave. You just run, okay? Just run away.
Good one. All right, that's a point for them. Thanks for watching, guys. That was our review of Skinamarink. We love you, and we'll see you very, very soon.